Good morning, Aurora. My name is Amir Rodriguez, and I'll be talking about the weather for this weekend. Today it's going to be misty, rainy all day. As you can see, the highest of today up north will be 40 to 50, and down south will be 50 to 59. And tonight it's also going to be raining, with the lowest being 32 and the highest being 39. Tomorrow there's going to be a possible chance that it's going to be raining and snowing, which I don't know how that's possible, the lowest is going to be 40 and the highest is going to be 44. And tomorrow night probably it's going to be snowing, with a chance of being 25 at the lowest and 30 being the highest. Sunday, starting next week, it's going to be 41 to 48, a bit cloudy but sunny. Low at night, it will be 25 to 33. And on Monday, it'll be 56 to 61, being a warm, sunny day, hopefully. And on Monday, the lowest is going to be 39 to 43. And then starting Tuesday, it's going to be 62 to 65, being a bit cloudy. And on Tuesday, it's going to be 47 to 49. And my name is Amir, and I hope you have a great show.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:02 a.m., and you are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We had an interesting weather report this morning. I know that you guys love that. We'd like to say good morning and welcome to Amir, the newest member of our team. We have a fantastic interview for you guys today. My guests are Steve McHugh and Meghan Bradt of the BeSMART campaign. We're going to talk about secure gun storage and saving lives this morning. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Great. How are you, Curtis?
I'm all right. I'm doing very well. We know that snow is in our forecast, so like you guys, I'm kind of treading easily into the weekend. But thanks very much for you guys being here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So to start off with, go ahead and introduce yourselves to the folks, and then let's get into the BeSMART campaign and all about it.
Sure.
All right. My name is Meghan Bratt, and live over in St. Charles. Been part of BeSMART for about 4 years,
Okay.
I think. And just really enjoy education about safe storage and being part of all the awesome things that we do.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. Steve McHugh. I live in Geneva. And I'm the Illinois co-lead for BeSMART. And as Meghan said, we provide education and resources for secure storage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, in regards to secure storage specifically, okay, what is secure storage and what is unsecure storage? I mean, I'm sure that it sounds very easy to the folks, but let's dig into it a little bit more. So let's identify what secure storage, first of all, is.
Sure.
I'm going to let you take that. You know about all the locks.
Sure. So there's different ways that you can secure firearms. You know, we did a survey within the state of Illinois, and what we found is that 60% of all households lock up all of their guns in the household.
Right.
Some people think when they lock up just some of their guns, you know, and what we hear a lot is that the main reason for not locking up a gun is that people want to get to them quickly in case there's a home invasion or something.
Right.
So different ways of locking up a gun. There's cable locks. There's what I prefer is a biometric safe. That kind of gets rid of the issue of having to get to it quickly.
Right.
Because you can open it very quickly within a second with a fingerprint. You can
Right.
also open it with a combination or a key.
Right.
So secure storage is just that it's out of, you know, accessibility for a child or a teen. And, you know, you're really wanting to prevent those unintentional shootings or suicides.
Right. Absolutely. Now, what is unsecure storage then is obviously the opposite of that. The folks just leaving a firearm there with the thought of getting to it quickly. You know, some folks unfortunately may the weapon is it's empty.
Yeah.
But your magazine is somewhere else, quickly able to be reached. You know, I still see that as unsecure storage and everything. But with secure storage, besides the cable locks, also the trigger locks as well.
Trigger
correct?
locks, yes.
Okay.
Trigger locks, and of course for, you know, long guns or rifles, there's the safes as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And a really interesting thing on that too is that I think there's some misconception on the cost of some of those things. Cable locks, of course, and it's great. We hand those out at different tabling events, and I know the Kane County Health Department does that now. They've handed out over 2,000 cable locks, and they're relatively inexpensive if you want to go out and buy them as well. The biometric safes that we were talking about, again, that you can open up with your finger, usually stores, you know, 1 or 2 pistols.
Right.
You can get those for as low as $50.
Oh, really?
A lot of people think, you know, when we ask, how much do you think this is? People
Yeah.
are guessing $200, $400.
Right.
You can get them very inexpensively. And even the big ones with the, you know, for your home, for your rifles, you can get those for as low as $150.
Oh, wow. Good
Yeah,
to know.
you can spend a lot more.
Sure.
We were talking to one guy at the gun show who paid, I think, $5,000 for his, but he was storing 20 rifles,
Right.
and he was storing a lot of other things in it, you know, screwed down to the floor,
Sure.
and, you know,
Probably
500
engraved with
pounds
his
and all
name or
that.
something.
Yeah,
Bill.
Exactly.
Golden block.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Now we will also be putting the links to the website and all of the information for BeSMART campaign in the description of this video. But I did want to read just a little something real quick, and then we'll get back to you folks.
course.
All adults can help keep kids safer. If there's a gun or guns in your home or vehicles, it's essential to store them so that they're inaccessible to kids and any unauthorized people. The best secure storage solution for you is the one that you will use consistently. There are many types of storage devices that meet the needs of different gun owners. Don't make the mistake of assuming that hiding a gun or placing it somewhere that seems out of reach will keep a kid from getting their hands on it. And that's, you know, before the cameras came on, that's the thing that I really wanted to kind of drill across to folks, because as a veteran, you know, I know many people who have mistakenly thought by that logic. You know, oh, I'm going to put it on top of the shelf. I got a 4-year-old. He ain't going to be able to, you know, that's not a secure way of thinking in a safe way.
I was just going to comment about that.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with a friend once because I knew she had guns, and I said, where are they stored? And at that time, our kids were all like kindergarten, first grade, and she said they're in the high cabinet in the kitchen. And I thought, okay, but are they locked?
Right.
She said, no, but they're out of reach. And I thought, well, my kids always know where I store their Halloween candy. They're going to find them.
Absolutely.
So just being aware of that.
Absolutely. My son, I think about my son, at the same time I'm encouraging my son to do things when he was small. You can push the step stool to the counter and you can get set up on let's think as we help our kids grow as well. Let's be sure that we can keep them safe 100% of the time.
Thanks so much
absolutely.
for saying that, Curtis, too. And the other thing, what a lot of people don't realize is locking the gun up in a vehicle. If you store it in a vehicle,
Right.
Our survey results showed first of all, over 500,000 guns get stolen every year. And more than half of that are from vehicles.
Wow.
And the big reason is when they're stored in vehicles, a lot of times it's in the glove compartment or under the seat or in the trunk. And our survey showed that less than half of people who store their guns in the car secure them, in some kind of safe or something.
Yeah.
So it's both a safety issue, that a kid might grab it, but there's different motivators for securing your gun. We talk about safety, but it's also the average cost of a pistol is about $650.
Right.
Do you want your gun to be stolen?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There's a cost and there's a hassle
Absolutely.
of having your gun stolen, let alone the fact that there's now a stolen gun in your community.
Right. And only with certain things like police buybacks have a lot of stolen weapons been recovered. Right. So that's why we also support, as you guys know, the King County Sheriff's Office and State's Attorney's Office in the work that they do with their gun buybacks. The time is 9:11 a.m. So I just want to read a couple more things. There are thousands of BeSMART volunteers in your communities and neighborhoods that are delivering that BeSMART message across the country in all 50 states. How can one become a BeSMART volunteer, or if anyone's listening and watching, how can they help the efforts of the team?
Sure. First of all, you can go to the website to find out more about BeSMART. It's besmartforkids.org. And you could send us information. You can contact us through BeSmartKane, Kane, at gmail.com. But if you want to get involved, just text the word SMART to 64433.
We like things like that. You guys know. Text the word SMART to 64433. That's awesome. So what are, from yourselves being the experts in this, what is the most common misconception that households have that drives, attempts for suicide or the wrong person accessing the firearms?
The main misconception, that as Meghan said, just hiding a gun is secure. My dad was a Chicago policeman, and he kept his gun. It was a different time. It was a while ago, but it was on the top of the china cabinet. But kids are curious,
right?
And we found out later, I would just climb up on a chair and, see what do these bullets look like, or
exactly.
so, and found out years ago that my sisters were doing the same thing.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest misconception. Or in suicide, it's, my son or my daughter, would never do that.
Right.
To me, that's the biggest misconception.
How can people reach out to you guys yourselves for gun locks or anything?
We typically go to, they can contact us.
Okay.
But we also go to tabling events.
Okay.
We'll be at any everything from farmers markets to safety fairs.
Okay.
There's every year in the summertime, there's National Night Out.
Yes.
Yeah, you're familiar with that,
Oh, yeah.
Curtis.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
With the community interacting with the police department and EMTs. It's a great event.
Right.
We'll be at those things. We also go to where the guns are. We go to gun shows. We go to gun shops, and people have been absolutely great. We've gone to gun shops and say, hey, can we leave some materials around so when people buy guns, they can see this information? And they said, absolutely. It's great.
I'm glad you guys brought that up. And you've mentioned gun shows specifically, like now twice. And that's something I wanted to ask. What is the reception like? I mean, because you mentioned that you're able to leave your information at a gun shop. But when at these guns, I grew up in Harvey, Illinois, which is very like the border of Indiana.
Yeah.
So my whole life, I have seen just a gun show, right, in a field, in any place, in a lot of different places throughout the state. So I wonder, what's the reception like with this message at those gun shows, which typically have frequently been, I mean, I don't know what to call them, like not too worried about the, maybe perhaps the safety aspect, or I could be wrong. What do you
I think, as Steve said, very kind and welcoming.
Okay.
Some specific examples where, family walk by, and like Steve said earlier, also, the perception is that these gun locks are very expensive,
right?
And they're not. And so you see a lot of families who purchase a gun lock or gun safe at the show, just knowing, hey, I didn't even think about this. And I think kind of going backpedaling a little bit, I was thinking, in my family, there were a lot of hunters growing up. And so if you grow up with the guns around you, you're aware of gun safety.
Right.
But then if the grandkids don't grow up with those, it's kind of like you need to remember, we need to lock these up, we need to be aware of them, and we need to educate the kids about gun safety. So then also, this thinking we have to protect those kids and the awareness that they're very welcoming.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect going into it for the first time. And I think we've been doing it for 3 years now.
Right.
We do it here at the Kane County Fairgrounds in St. Charles.
Okay.
We're also going up to McHenry County in Woodstock, where they have a gun show there as well. But yeah, I mean, we didn't know what to expect, but there was a ton of common ground.
Right.
Yes, you'd absolutely get people who say, no, what good is a gun lock?
Right, exactly.
What good is a gun if it's locked up?
Sure.
Kind of thing. But far more often it's, oh, this is great, and we're demonstrating the biometric safes to them and handing out a free, some of them are buying their gun there, and it's like, hey, here's a free cable lock to go with that. So,
good. No, that's very helpful.
Yeah, it's been great.
I think the common ground is we want to keep people safe, and that is where, that's the general consensus. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's and so with your dad's background as a Chicago police officer and everything that we're talking about with this campaign and now in schools and education too, there is an element that I think that a lot of people know about that plays a big thing about into this, which is mental health.
Yeah.
And I really believe that nowadays, and this is what feels good about it, nowadays there is so much more focus given to how young people especially feel, how they're able to, deal with their feelings and everything like that. So I really like the message being tied in of safety because, I think back kind of like your experience too, like the only safety was the fear of my dad.
Correct.
That's right. Like
That's
it was getting caught going in the closet and going up under the old newspapers, right?
That was your motivator.
Yeah. That was the gun lock, That was the gun lock. But at the same time, those safe things like trigger discipline and what full recoil looks like and not being a loaded firearm. Those things were not something that were taught in a classroom.
Yeah.
Should have been. But now I think the iron is hot for this to actually make a lot more sense now, be followed, and save lives going forward. You know?
It absolutely is, and you know, it's great that children are taught to be
Yes.
safe around guns and everything else. We focus on the parent because, and both should be done.
Right.
But you know, we believe it's the parents' responsibility
I do too.
to lock up the guns. And what are you going to blame the child?
Right.
If they have.
Right, exactly. The time is 9:19 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Fresh Start City Church is here in the chat. Good morning. God bless you, too. Thank you, Josue Pais, for the information. It's very informative. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it. Knowledge is power. That's right. But applied knowledge is powerful. Tracy Duran is here. Good morning. Daniel Calderon and Mary Foltz. So how did you folks get into this wonderful line of work? How did you both join the BeSMART campaign?
I started after Parkland. I
Okay.
got involved just because I have young children,
Right.
and I decided I wanted to do something to support, you know, safety and education.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Steve?
I got involved very much the same way. A little bit earlier, my kids were younger, around the time of Columbine.
Okay.
So that was all the way back in '99.
I remember that, yep.
Yeah. So, you know, it's advocacy is very much about self-preservation.
Sure,
So, you know,
yes.
you're protecting your kids or your grandkids or.
Yeah, I remember, so I think I was a senior in high school. I remember Columbine.
Yeah.
And I remember what a shock that was at that time. And since, and you know, with Parkland and everything like that, it's like it hasn't stopped. And, you know, I am for all of the, you know, my words, not you guys, but I'm for all of the safe restrictions, including the strengthening of red flag laws and things like that. But I do believe that this right here is accessible for so many people, and the average person who may have a firearm in their home, even if it is safe, secure, cable locked, or what have you, can still benefit for this. And maybe that person's watching and can be an advocate too and join the team. Because if we're safe at home, that's one thing. But if we're like promoting that safety and, you know, letting other people know, then it grows and it spreads, and maybe we can collectively do something, you know?
Absolutely, and that's where secure storage comes in.
Yeah.
You know, 78% of all the guns used by teens in a mass shooting and a school shooting came from the parents' home.
That's right. Yep. And I think it's Michigan right now where two of the parents are being charged or going through legal proceedings.
That's right.
Because of that. So I did want to talk about the acronym of SMART, which I thought was cool. And instead of printing on one page, my silly printer at work decided to give me every piece of paper in the world per letter. So
Gives you a little bit more of a challenge there.
Exactly. Daniel Calderon, good morning. Said hi to you. Tracy Duran, great information. I think gun safety knowledge is so important, even if you're not a gun owner, especially teaching children to be safe around them. My dad didn't have a gun in the house, but our grandpa did, and as a kid, we knew to be careful if we ever saw one or be around one. SMART, S stands for secure. Secure all guns in your home and vehicles. M is model. Model responsible behavior around guns. Absolutely. Ask about unsecured guns in other homes. R is recognize the role of guns in suicide. And T is tell your peers to be smart. Absolutely wonderful. Model responsible behavior around guns. Time is 9:22 a.m. So the next event that you guys will be at, where will you be? As a news guy now, it feels good asking that question, right? Like, Curtis, where are you going to be? Where are these guys going to be? What's the next event?
I will be at the McHenry County Woodstock Gun Show on March 24th.
Okay.
That's the next one.
All right.
Yep.
I think maybe I'll be there with you.
Yeah.
You'll be with them, Megan?
I think maybe I will. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll be at the April 14th Kane County Gun Show as well. Most of our tabling events are in the summertime at things
Right.
like farmers markets and so on.
Absolutely.
And safety
Absolutely.
fairs. Yeah.
Okay. Now the website is besmartforkids.org.
That's right.
BeSmartForKids.org. And then 5 simple actions to help protect 5 simple actions can help protect kids. Every town for gun safety launched the BeSMART campaign to take action to promote responsible gun ownership and reduce child gun deaths. This may be a question for another time, and if it is so, I totally understand. But is there anything currently legislatively that could help aid our efforts that is going through? If that's something for another time, I can understand that. But is there anything that ourselves or the public should be looking or on the lookout for?
Maura Hirschauer is a state representative out of Batavia. She passed legislation fairly recently that gives schools the option. It's not mandatory, but the option to teach about secure storage to parents in schools and so on. So that was the most recent legislation.
That's awesome. And as you guys know, Maura Hirschauer and her work have been a feature on this show. So we'll have to go into archives and check that out again. Absolutely.
Exactly.
No, I totally support that. So the time is 9:24 a.m. As we start to wrap, get ready to land the plane, as we say here on TV, what's something that you want the folks to take with them into this weekend, and especially into the summertime as weather starts getting hotter?
I think 2 things. When you talked about ACT, I know when, this is just moving forward in general, but when my kids were younger, I would always, when they would go over to somebody's house, I would always say, are you going anywhere? Do you need a car seat? Are there any allergies in the home?
Right.
And be okay with saying, do you have guns and are they locked up?
Okay.
Like, be okay with doing that. Like,
absolutely.
be confident in that. Just feeling good about, taking care of your kids.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
educating your teenagers, too. When you get in that car, you buckle up. If somebody says, hey, come see this gun I've got, you get out of the house. And be good about asking those questions.
Yeah, because, that's where it's at. That's what people, it's, I'm going over to Billy's house. Billy's mom's got 2 jobs. She's not coming home until later on. So there we are at Billy's house, right? Just.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, you're going to make sure there's not alcohol there. You're going to make sure that they're not doing other things. So you just ask about the gun. Make that a common conversation.
Absolutely.
Firearms are the #1 killer of children in America.
Yep.
Since the year 2020. Before that, for 100 years before that, it was motor vehicles. So
I didn't know that.
secure storage is the seatbelt,
Absolutely.
solution to it. And that's the message to parents. I think the message to communities, there's different things that can be done. We learned through all of our work that the village of Glen Ellen provides within their annual budget a rebate program that you can buy whatever gun safe or locks that you want, and you can get a rebate for up to $100 a year.
Really?
We would love for other communities to do that.
I like that. Right?
That.
Yeah. Shout out to Glen Ellen. I like that. That is positive news. 9:27 is the time. Good morning, folks. We were just exploring a way to engrave arms. Is there a program to follow to get a business license? That's a good question, Juan. I'm not too sure. We'll have to do some research on that and maybe have some engraving guests on to talk about that. Well, 9:27 is the time. I want to say thank you very much to you guys for coming on the show. But here's the other thing. If we can help support you in any other way, please let us know. If you have flyers, if you've got something going on, hey, Curtis, we're going to be at this event, email it to me, please, and we will share it in our network.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Yeah,
will.
no problem. You guys know that safety is a very important part of this show. I'm a parent. A lot of you guys are parents and veterans too, so you know that we take this absolutely very seriously. I want to say thank you one more time to Meghan, Bradt, and Steve McHugh of the BeSMART campaign. Right now we're going to go to a commercial, and we will see you momentarily.
Imagine what's possible when a city makes an unprecedented investment. A commitment that reshapes a city's landscape forever. That equalizes economic opportunity. elevates education for all, empowers businesses, inspires collaboration between institutions, improves public services, and enhances the lives of every resident. Now, imagine that city is ours. We know it's possible because other cities have done it. Places like Longmont, Colorado, a community that leveraged its investment in municipal electricity and upgraded its substations to create a 17-mile fiber loop, delivering critical connectivity to the city's institutions, organizations, and small businesses, achieving an incredibly high adoption rate. And in Pharr, Texas, a border town of 80,000, voted the least connected city in America, invested in 700 miles of fiber, delivering broadband managed services that are enriching residents' lives. Cities, towns, and regions are stepping up all over America. There is no question that Aurora can and deserves to be America's next great smart city. But it's up to us. We have a responsibility we can't ignore to see everyone living in our city, regardless of economic status, having broadband services that are simple, efficient, safe, and powerful. Imagine children having safe internet access anywhere, never needing to connect outside of a fast food restaurant. Imagine every building in every neighborhood and retail outlet, new and old, modernized, intuitive, secure. Imagine exciting subscribers with the ultimate broadband experience and giving parents control over all of it. Imagine deploying cyberbullying protection that notifies parents throughout Aurora that their kids are being bullied and providing resources to protect them. Imagine a city with first responders seamlessly connected and with safer public spaces. Can you see this smart city? Can you see our future? We do. Aurora is ready for world-class connection that serves our residents, that helps businesses grow and unifies our community. Let's take this opportunity to give all of our residents, businesses, and community organizations the advantages that come with unrivaled broadband infrastructure and services. Let's come together and deliver a world where digital equity creates a city that is smarter, safer, and sustainable for generations to come.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
YEP really allowed me to kind of branch out into my community. I learned so much, and looking back, I feel like I'm a way more confident person and someone who has a lot more perspective going into college.
YEP is designed to create leadership skills for those youth involved, but also to really engage them in philanthropy.
You can make a difference at your young age, which is really impactful because I didn't know that when I joined this.
Starting young and having people my age doing philanthropy, you instill that idea of community and helping others that sometimes is lost.
When I first came here, it was just another something to put on a resume, and now I'm up there leading the meetings and talking to these kids and trying to make the decisions and telling them, yeah, you might be 16, 17 years old, but we're making a change and so can you.
I definitely saw myself grow as a person, thinking about like how my actions can impact other people and the society around me and the environment.
It's made me more confident and like more assured in like my ability to be a leader.
We're teaching them those leadership skills, the empathy, the concern, and how they are valuable resources in the community and in the world.
We are really creating the future generation of philanthropists.
It means a lot to help other youth in my community.
I think it's the future success of our country.
By giving to the YAP program, it really creates a ripple effect in the community. It empowers high school students to learn and grow and become leaders. It gives back to the community through grant making and service. And it really inspires them to become future philanthropists and continue to do good in their community.
Helping other youth in my community, it's always something I wanted to be able to do, but this is a direct connection, and I think that just makes all the difference. So this is all money that we make sure that goes to a child that needs it in some way, shape, or form.
With an endowment for YAP, we would be able to serve more nonprofits, more youth could be involved in the program, and we turn that around and help more youth in the community.
And not only are they helping like the people that their money is going to, but they're helping us grow and become better people as well.
The endowment is the vehicle that will help our students today become the leaders of our community tomorrow.
It's really rewarding to be able to, as a youth, help other youth, and it makes me feel proud of myself.
I would say it's thoroughly changed me. I've definitely thought about myself and my place in my community and what I can do to help others.
Philanthropy is not just about the money, it's about whatever you're capable of giving and the fact that you want to do it.
The community and the friends that we make, and that you could give back at such a young age. It's just so powerful and just a great movement.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The time is 9:35 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Kevin Bradt, good morning to you as well. Let's do this news now. We're going to tell you the news. Now, I know what you're thinking. Curtis. Hey, Curtis, man, listen. I love the news. I'm glad. Okay, first things first, we got the Art and Mindfulness event coming up. It's going to be March 22nd here in downtown Aurora at Cottonseed Creative Exchange. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. The cost is $25. This is going to be presented by Kim Peavler, a friend of the show. She is a nurse, life coach, and a mindfulness facilitator. So get ready for this great event. Once again, it's going to be March 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. You will see more of this flyer on our Facebook and Instagram. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the Aurora Financial Empowerment Center has workshops in English and Spanish all year long. There's 2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the evening. The morning session starts, doors open at 9:30 a.m., begins at 10. Evening session, the doors open at 5:30 p.m., and it begins at 6. All of these sessions are located at 712 South River Street in downtown, or kind of off the side of Aurora. You know where it's at, across the street from Hesed House. The next one is going to be March 12th, tax planning strategies. After that, April 9th, budgeting and savings for financial wellness. And May 14th, a guide to the home buying process. For more information on this and all of the great events, you can follow the Aurora Financial Empowerment Center on Facebook and Instagram. All right, time is 9:36 a.m. Here is the client journey. The court-based rental assistance program is open and taking applications. The client journey is a step-by-step guide on your screen to let you know how the process works. Step 1 is scheduling an appointment. Step 2, verify eligibility. Step 3 is attending an appointment and completing the application. Step 4 is follow-up calls. And Step 5 is a referral to the Financial Empowerment Center. This information comes from our dear friends of the Neighbor Project located at 32 South Broadway. For more information on this, how to apply for the court-based rental assistance program, or to begin your application, call 630-906-9400. That number again is 630-906-9400. And when you call, let them know you heard about it on Good Morning Aurora. All right. And the last thing I'm going to tell you guys about before we get out of here is the next volunteer workshop is this Sunday. It's going to be at 15 Hawthorne Court on Aurora's west side. And this is presented by our friends of the Neighbor Project. Coffee, donuts, and water will be provided. Join the outreach team for community volunteer events. This will be from 10 a.m. to noon. To sign up for this or future events, Text your first name and the word volunteer to 331-256-7782. The number again is 331-256-7782. I will be there. So work with your boy. Okay, well, that's it for the news. I have with me a friend on the stage with me. His name is Amir. Now, you will have seen Amir. Hit your mic up. Make sure you get your mic. Yeah, bring it in. There you go. There you go. All right. Amir, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man.
Good, man. Good to see you. Amir is a student at West Aurora High School, and Amir is also the new weatherman for Good Morning Aurora. What do you like about the weather? I loved it when I was a kid. What do you like about it?
I just love the, for me, when I was little, like I saw how, the weather can either, be great or, it can kind of not be great.
Right, exactly.
And I remember once that when I was during elementary school, I saw a book about, weather and stuff. And what caught my attention was the natural disasters.
Ooh.
Now I didn't know that, because here we don't get as much other than,
Exactly.
what happened 2 weeks or a week ago. When,
touchdown tornado. Yep.
And I didn't know that was possible. I was like, whoa.
Seriously, yeah. Like science, all that coming together, what it takes to snow and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Like what I liked about the weather was I always liked how the weather sets the tone for the day.
Right.
No matter what you're doing in the day, the kids going crazy, people will shut up, be quiet, turn the weather up. The weatherman, he sets the tone for the day. It's very important. Plus, the other cool thing I like about the weather is that I do like knowing what it's gonna be like coming up. I like rain personally. I like stormy weather.
Yeah.
So I like seeing both of those things happen. So
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. What I want to do in the future, hopefully, is just cruising down the Midwest, through Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma, and just experience what Mother Nature can do.
Right. In all those places.
All those places. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was I think the strongest weather event I was ever in, when I was really young, I lived in Oklahoma for a little bit. A tornado touched down pretty close to where we were at, kind of outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I remember being really scared because the sky was dark. It looked like a really bad movie. And I remember being really scared about that, and then seeing on the news and weather the next day how the destruction, and being holy cow, that's terrible. But when I was in the Navy, I was in the ship that I was on. We went through storms all the time. And I remember thinking, we're not going to go around it?
Straight through.
I remember, standing on the, the 03 level, and you're out there, just with a raincoat on. Yeah. You got these headphones so you can communicate to the bridge, and, the mic is, strapped to your chest. It's kind of like this. And, it's sunny. But then way ahead, you can see dark and lightning. And I was like, looks like a storm in front of us. Are we going around it? I'm like, nah.
No, we're straight through it.
And I was still up there. And you don't come down. You got to go through the storm standing out there.
Yeah.
That's why I love the weather. But that's why I'm happy that you're doing it now. So.
Yeah.
All right. Time is 9:42 a.m. So before because I know we're going to wrap it up a couple minutes due to you. What do you want to say to the people of Aurora for the weekend? Give them something to think about as they go through the weekend. What's your message to the people?
Despite the weather that's happening here, that don't let anything ruin your day.
True.
Could be windy, rainy, but if you're having a good time because something an event happened to you that you found that made you happy. You learn something that that's happening. Don't let it ruin your day, basically.
Right. The weather's kind of like life, right?
Right.
Absolutely. It could be stormy in your heart. But you know what? You got to have as much of a sunshiny day as you possibly can. Acknowledge the storm, right? Deal with the storm. Sometimes don't let that stop you from having as sunshiny of a day as you can. No, that's a good point, man. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, I'm glad you're part of the team, man. I
Thank
really
you.
am. Glad you're part of the team. So you guys are going to see a whole lot more of Amir doing the weather. I'm done with it now. I'm done with it. Trivia will be back next week on Friday, too, by the way. So don't sweat. We will give you guys your morning trivia. The winner of the trivia comes and does the weather. So the person who wins does the weather, and that's always a fun one because, they're like, do I stand here or stand there? It's a pretty good time. All right, 9:43 is the time. Amir is only with us from 8:45 in the morning to 9:45 in the morning. So Amir is going to wrap it up with us right now, and we're going to wrap it up, too, a little bit early this morning. I hope that all of you guys have a safe, positive, and blessed weekend this weekend. That's a fact. You should be doing something that makes your heart smile. You should be doing something that makes you feel good. And I hope that all of you guys took today's message to heart. Please be safe in your home if you are a firearm owner. Please be safe with the things that you do if you transport your firearms or you concealed carry. And also, please keep in mind the young people in our lives, in our city, and especially in our households. On behalf of Good Morning Aurora, I want you guys to be safe, be blessed, and take care of yourself and each other.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.